Hello and welcome to another episode of Children's Moments here on Heavenward Thinking. Today we're back with the second of our 3 Valentine's Day object lessons. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Ruth and we'll get started today.
So we're talking about right now some empty hearts, and you can see it's kind of hard in the picture, but what have I drawn on here, Timothy?
Hearts, 4 hearts.
4 hearts, and they're empty right now, right?
Yeah,
they're
not filled
empty
in.
hearts. I want to read some verses and then we're going to do some filling in and see how our hearts can get filled. So some verses about the love of God that can be filling our hearts. First of all, John 3:16, which we know by heart. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Some other verses about God's love and our love would come from 1 John chapter 4, verse 19. It says, we love because he first loved us. And then if we go to Romans chapter 5, verse 8, this is another one I have from memory. But God demonstrated his own love for us in that while we are still sinners, Christ died for us. And then there's one more part I want to read to you in Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 to 39. Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and prophets hang on these 2 commandments. So we found out that God gave his love for us, right? He gave Jesus to die for us so he could fill our hearts. So I'm going to have you color in just this bottom heart to represent our hearts being filled with God's love. So our hearts get filled when we ask Jesus to become part of our hearts. We filled in, you can probably see there, the colored in the heart. But these other hearts represent other people around us, right? And it said we love because he first loved us, right? Well, we're going to dip this in representing when we choose to let God's love fill our hearts. I'm going to dip it in the water, and I want you to see what starts happening. What's starting to happen with some of the red there?
The red's starting to spread.
Where's it starting to spread to?
Towards the other hearts.
Spreading to the other hearts, because as God's love fills our heart, our hearts are so full, it gets to be able to be spread to other people. So this Valentine's Day, let God fill your heart and let it spread out to other people.
Awesome object lesson. Well, join us next time for the 3rd object lesson of our Valentine's Day series.